Dako.
Ghana's Greenhouses and Entrepreneurship Innovation Center at Dawenya in the Greater Accra region is now operational. For a start, the center, a training ground for modern agriculturalists, has 75 greenhouses to produce 4,500 tons of vegetables, anticipated to rake in 11 million Ghana cedis per annum.
Inaugurating the facility, the President Nana Akufo-Addo says the government has pumped $22 million in the center, which has 3 sites, including Dawenya, for an expected 10,000 jobs in the shortest possible time.
The main purpose of a greenhouse is to secure a reasonable amount of heat and water vapor so that warmth and humidity is maintained, and that provides an opportunity for year-round farming. It is perfect for crops such as vegetables and fruits and protects the plants from adverse climatic conditions such as cold, wind, precipitation, excessive radiation, extreme temperature, as well as insects and disease. The inauguration of the Greenhouses and Entrepreneurship Innovation Center means more Ghanaian youth will be trained to venture into modernized agriculture and stem the flow of agricultural graduates from the sector to other areas. A 3-month practical agricultural course and commercial farming gives trainees the needed knowledge, attitude, practice and skills to manage a farm business efficiently. So far, about 75 greenhouse domes have been constructed at the Dawenya site in the Greater Accra region, the biggest in West Africa. Bodjase in the Central region and Akumadan in the Ashanti region are other training sites.
That Kenya, which is so far away from the European market, does $3 billion of fruits, vegetables to that market. We are only 5.5 hours away from the market, and yet we are net importers of vegetables. I have to take you to Kotoka International Airport on a Friday evening to see these airplanes landing, discharging vegetables from Europe, from South Africa and other places. We want to end that and become net exporters.
The Greenhouses and Entrepreneurship Innovation Center is the brainchild of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan under the Ministry of Business Development.
The President, under initiatives and the President Business Support Program, 42,000 young Ghanaians have been trained. 9,000 of them have been provided with funding and training, and they've created 92,000 jobs in 3 years. Under your watch, Mr. President, I want to assure you that these green estates and this building will turn out hundreds of thousands of young Ghanaians who not only grow businesses and employ people, who would go to the world and compete and take Ghana beyond aid.
With the global COVID-19 as a big example, domestic strategies are seen as key to the nation's survival. The President thinks the center will help to drop the high prices of vegetables in the country.
I've said, and I believe firmly, that we can build a Ghana beyond aid, that is a prosperous and self-confident Ghana that is in charge of her economic destiny, a transformed Ghana that is prosperous enough to be beyond needing aid, and a Ghana that engages competitively with the rest of the world through trade and investment. We can do this if we invest in entrepreneurship and ensure that our population is aggressive in pursuing the entrepreneurial agenda.
The Greenhouses Entrepreneurship Innovation Center has 192 rooms, a conference center, and recreational facilities.
Stepping up security comes with an ever-changing set of tasks, and as Ghana beefs up her measures amid the heightened security situation in the sub-region, the Ghana Armed Forces will take delivery of new armored vehicles and ammunition to augment its fleet. Parliament has approved an $86 million loan facility to procure the equipment. Threats of terror attacks, particularly from the Sahel, communal clashes, top the list of reasons necessitating the procurement of armored vehicles and ammunition for the Ghana Armed Forces.
in the Committee on Finance reports, it's been over a decade since the Army acquired such a fleet.
Mr. Speaker, the committee inquired whether the armored vehicles will be used for peacekeeping operations and was informed that these vehicles will be used for UN peacekeeping operations when required, but they will primarily be deployed to support internal security operations.
We all know there are some countries in this world, by just associated with them, you unnecessarily attract hatred for yourself. And look at, if you are going to use those countries and their equipment in peacekeeping, if you are going to use them only internally, I would say that will be fine. But while you'll be using them for peacekeeping, let's be mindful, because we could unnecessarily expose our men and women to unnecessary risks.
There was the question of accountability and value for money.
The counter-argument was that if Parliament has to perform its oversight mandate well, we should be in the position to carry out our own value for money audits. And so, Mr. Speaker, given the fact that these decisions given by the chair are not binding on successive parliaments, they only serve as a guide, maybe we should have another definitive pronouncement on this subject so that we can all be guided moving forward.
I think we should come to some conclusion on this as a House. When facilities are brought to the House, which are not accompanied by value for money audit reports, the committees, the relevant committees, should seize the opportunity and interrogate same, invite experts, and submit them to the experts, at least for some preliminary study and report to the committee. That will inform the debate in this House. Short of that, Mr. Speaker, we are shortchanging ourselves.
With the setup of new regiments in Sunyani and Tamale, the logistics will equip them to perform their core mandate.
Those units have not been able to be operationalized just because the armed forces do not have the requisite tools to get them up and running.
The loan agreement was between the government of Ghana and the Israel Discount Bank.
And away from Parliament, Ghana's junior and senior high schools will use a new curriculum for teaching and learning beginning next year. Known as the Common Core Program, CCP, the curriculum places the students on a higher level to be at par with international standards. The Public Relations Officer of the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, Mr. Cosmos Emina, stated this in an interview with GBC News.
The last time we had a major review of the GHS and SHS curriculum was in 2012. That is about 8 years ago. This means that basically it's long overdue for our curriculum to be reviewed. And secondly, you realize that there's been something as the talk of the PSHS, and it has that in other countries internationally. Aside the fact that we needed to make room to ensure that as many students as possible are able to progress from the junior high school up to the senior high school. So that is fundamentally the main reason that calls for the review of the curriculum. It is true that it will be reviewed starting from the next academic year, but it's not going to be a wholesale review. We will start only with the learners in JHS 1. The Common Core, actually, it is a 4-year program. It starts from JHS 1 and ends at SHS 1. Those in classes now, the learners in JHS 2 and 3 will continue to use the existing or the old curriculum. So these JHS 1 learners will use the curriculum from JHS 1 up to SHS 1. What that means is that all learners in SHS 1 would, by that time, not do elective courses. They would do the course from JHS 1 up to SHS 1. It is only when they are going to SHS 2 that they would branch into their elective areas. It's been done in such a way that the learners will be multi-equipped to fit into either the world of work or to further their academic endeavors at the university level.
World Bank is supporting Ghana with $60 million to build an efficient and environmentally sound artisanal small-scale mining sector. The new project, dubbed the Ghana Artisanal Small-Scale Mining Formalization Project, is expected to take off in 2021.
Being implemented to make the small-scale mining sector sustainable, orderly and safe. The sector contributed 43.1% of the total gold production in 2018. The 5-year project is expected to address the degradation and pollution caused by mining activities over the years.
Furtherance to this policy, a number of activities has been designed by the Ministry and the Minerals Commission for implementation. These include the development of an operational manual to govern all aspects of the scheme, ongoing census, verification and streamlining of the operations of community mining in accordance with the mining laws, blocking of sheds of relinquished areas by large-scale mining companies and others. Ladies and gentlemen, we have started commissioning some of the community mining schemes in some mining communities in Ghana. Notably, amongst them is Nsiana, Amansie, Manso, Nkwanta in the Ashanti region, Ayase in the western, Ayase is also in the Ashanti region, northwestern, and Tinga in the Savannah region.
For the project has been opened in Accra. The Ghana ASM Formalization Project, carved out of the multi-sectorial integrated mining project, will include capacity building, adaptation of new technological know-how, mainstreaming of artisanal.
We take you back to Parliament. A member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Mr. Patrick Boama, has offered condolences to the people of Lebanon and prayed for strength and unity in time of grief. Disaster struck the country on August 4, 2020, in an explosion leading to the death of more than 150 people, with 5,000 others injured. The explosion at the port of Beirut caused irreparable damage to lives and property, while the entire government also resigned, facing backlash from protesters.
A week ago, the world witnessed a very sad incident in Lebanon, specifically in Beirut at the port, where about 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate got exploded at the port in Beirut. It sent a very worrying signal to the world about how some of these explosives are kept and how they are managed. We're told that it's been at the port for since 2014. And we lost over 160 lives. About 300 people are injured or more, and thousands are displaced. We've seen what is happening to the government in Lebanon as a result of this incident, and it's a very worrying situation. And we felt as a caucus we should speak on the issue and also let the world know that we sympathize with the good people of Lebanon on this sad event.
The government, through the Ministry of Roads and Highways, is improving the road network in the Hohwe township of the Hohwe municipality in the Volta region. At a news conference in Hohwe, the chief of Gbi, Wegbe Togbeke, who is a senior divisional chief of the Gbi traditional area.
The roads are being tarred, and in some cases, asphalting of some deplorable road network in the Hohwe township, expansion of markets, schools, sports stadium, street lights and more. The Gbi Traditional Council is therefore commending the government for the level of infrastructural development being undertaken in the municipality. At a news conference in Hohwe, the chief of Gbi, who was a senior divisional chief of the Gbi traditional area, Togbi Ke,
said the council acknowledges the construction and tarring of Hohoe Township roads and other development projects in Hohoe. He appealed to the government to fast-track the process for contractors working on the Eastern Corridor Road to go back to site, since the council and all other communities along the stretch of that road are looking up to government to complete the project.
We are gathered here this morning to acknowledge the massive and aggressive road construction works ongoing on the main Vegbe Hohoe Trang Road, Hohoe Township roads, and other development projects within the Hohoe municipality in fulfillment of the President's promise.
And in the Ashanti region, the Motor Transport and Traffic Department of the Ghana Police Service says road safety management can only be effective with collaboration and cooperation of all partners in the area of education, engineering, enforcement and emergency services. This came up at a stakeholders forum on road safety at Kumasi.
Statistics from the Motor Transport and Traffic Department of the Ghana Police Service, MTTD, shows that an average of 7 deaths from road accidents were recorded daily in the month of January 2020 alone. The deaths represented a 10% increase compared to the same period last year. It is to find ways to reduce the carnage on the roads that the MTTD met with its partners at Kumasi in the Ashanti region. The Vice Chairman of the Ashanti Regional Branch of the GPRTU, Mr. Sumaila Boateng, called for the need to intensify education on road safety.
Yadi eba ya yina obia esora wo so ye horo nsa ehye nose mask enu 6 months nemo ko record ko cheke bosumisia nipa dodo sen na ko nsamado nam road accident ese yadi eba ye bodan go patch road safety asi ye ja accident ato eso still utie minya payini a nipa no adaba fo no kuo no mukum ko mo amuame na beso amuamu a nipa kum no entwada.
The Ashanti Regional Head of the National Road Safety Authority, Madam Sambiat Ruedu, indicated that though good roads and periodic training of drivers are necessary, monitoring and inspecting the roadworthiness of vehicles are essential.
Commercial piano, so we are car owner, so we are driver new, or service 6 months piano, who call DVLA, and now who call baby to say Sedumac, now who call do car, testing.
The Ashanti Regional Manager of the DVLA, Mr. Amos Abeka, says the authority is engaging the private sector in the testing of vehicles. The Ashanti Regional Commander of the MTTD, Superintendent Emmanuel Edubuahini, gave statistics on road safety in the region.
From January to June 2020, as compared to the same period 2019, we have recorded 1,413 accident cases within Ashanti region alone, as compared to 1,654 in 2019. Here we have a reduction of about 15%.
News are live on GBC News. If there is more news ahead, please stay with us.
Shrimps and pepper, shrimps and pepper, shrimps and spices, for your jollof, for your soup.
figure of 15 million registrants nationwide.
In its view of the voters' registration exercise, the EC expressed satisfaction that the exercise was inclusive, participatory, orderly, and peaceful. The EC says 51.73% females registered, while 48.27% males were captured. The EC says first-time voters constitute 1,375,048 people, which constitutes 8.1% nationwide. The chairperson of the EC, Mrs. Jean Mensah, says the challenge cases were higher at the border towns.
From the data, one can observe that the OT region had the highest number of challenge cases per population, with 0.51% of the registrations being challenged. This is followed by the Ahafo region, where 0.38% of registrations were challenged, and then the Volta region with 0.37% of registrations being challenged. It is evident that most of the challenge cases were from border regions, with the exception of Ahafo, and it gives reason to assume that the challenge cases relate to citizenship issues emanating from the infiltration of foreigners.
The EC board said the ongoing duplication exercise will flush out unqualified people from the voters' register.
The challenge system put in place during the registration and exhibition exercise will further flag unqualified voters on the register. Ultimately, these processes will contribute to the cleaning of the register and ensure its integrity and credibility ahead of the 2020 election.
The Commission says the number of applicants who registered without fingerprints were 61,995, the majority of whom were from the Upper East region, with 9,244 applicants. At the end of the 38 days of May registration and the mop-up exercise, the Commission has registered 16,963,306 people nationwide. The Greater Accra region leads with 3,509,805, followed by the Ashanti region with 3,013,856 people. For GBC News, Heiga Olusu reporting.
A farmer from Abrankese in the Ashanti region, Mr. Bashiru Bukari, has won 20,000 Ghana cedis in a unique draw by Utriye Lotteries Limited under the supervision of the National Lottery Authority. Mr. Bukari is the 32nd winner of the star 78 star hash unique jackpot played weekly via mobile phone.
The star 787 hash mobile weekly jackpot lottery of Utriye Lotteries Limited is one of the biggest jackpots supervised by the National Lottery Authority (NLA). With a phone number, a customer needs to purchase unlimited tickets of 5 Ghana cedis to participate in the weekly draw on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 50 players are rewarded weekly with 200 Ghana cedis each and 1,000 Ghana cedis each for 6 players in the special Thursday draw. The special Tuesday and Thursday draws automatically qualify the participants for the big jackpot value draw on Saturday. This provides the chance of winning 508,000 Ghana cedis. 5 participants have so far been rewarded. Mr. Bashiru Bukari won the biggest jackpot of 208,500 Ghana cedis.
That day, no, general, or my family day, nay, the GM Rosso, Mr. Mantimanda, Metanama Deachim, Dinamania Jabra to say, Matima Winis GBC. As Canon could be a store, Nama for phones at home. The Megachom saying, I'm sure, and it will be a Wolfie Bia. Ninu echebi na okasa enye bi obo on try nokre rare ntino obi amama de antwo bia so betima di lack obi bia enekra me free akwakra na de eche na obi so adi kese echemede.
The head of customer experience of star 787 hash mobile lottery, Mr. Richard Akotobanfo, explains the rationale behind the game.
Many of these cash prize winners have equally won jackpot prizes as big as 208,500 Ghana cedis. This Saturday, we are rewarding 508,000 Ghana cedis as the jackpot prize. You can be the winner. All you need to do is to pick your phone and dial *787# now to participate. *787# is a mobile lottery game, and it has distinctly redefined mobile lottery in Ghana. We are changing lives, and we are changing it for the better. And you also have the opportunity to change your life with 508,000 Ghana cedis. So just pick your phone and dial *787# now.
He said customers who wish to participate in the draw should dial *787# on their mobile phones, select Play Now, enter participation, and confirm their mobile money PIN for payment.
On Wednesday, August 12, 2020, some youth of Trapu in the Volta region blocked the main road to the town after a businessman was killed by suspected armed robbers in the area.
The incident happened yesterday at 11 p.m. while the deceased and his wife were returning home from work. About 3 men reportedly accosted the two and shot the man after a short confrontation at a suburb called Deeper Life. Eyewitnesses say the police delayed in the incident, which angered the youth and caused them to mount roadblocks and bend car tires in protest. GBC News understands that police from the Japan Command arrived at the scene and calm has restored. The Japan Police Command DSP Benjamin Samani told our reporter Mercy Nimo that the body has been deposited at the Akosombo Hospital while they await autopsy report. Meanwhile, calm has been restored in the area.
Now, data released by the Ghana Statistical Service indicates that the consumer price index for July 2020 increased 0.2 percentage points to hit 11.4% from 11.2% in June. The consumer price index measures the change over time in the general price level of goods and services that households acquire for the purpose of consumption. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, 11.4% shows that increases in food prices continued, to influence the rate of inflation. Inflation of imported goods was 5.1%, while the inflation for local goods was 14.1% on average. At the regional level, the Greater Accra region recorded the highest year-on-year inflation of 16.2%, while the Volta region recorded 4.2%. Stock exchange now, because the composite index fell to 22.3% in July, with a year-to-date return of 16.81% negative. The financial stocks, however, increased 5.74 points. The most traded equity for the month was MTN, with most whose trade accounted for 96% of the total shares traded and 91% of total value of shares traded.
So this pandemic actually impacted a lot of income that was negatively. So this is not basically something to be worried about, hence the indicators, but we're very marginal compared to that of June and that of May, ends of 20 months back. So there were things that are appreciated in value. And those were the GCV, the value appreciated by more than 10%, that is 11.76. For us, it's a general, also increased by 3.5. So those increases in the financial stock index were brought about by the stock appreciation in GCB shares as well as the GSSB shares.
It's still Business Live on GBC News. Now, for MTN Ghana, a centralized national identification system is critical to dealing with the challenges associated with non-payment of loans by some of its customers. It says some persons choose to register more than one SIM card to take advantage of MTN's Momo services without paying their loans.
The Momo Stakeholder Conference is a regular feature on the Momo Month calendar. It is a tool for advocacy on key issues in the mobile financial sector. As mobile money penetration in the country grows rapidly, the economy is experiencing increasing growth in terms of agents and customers since its introduction in 2008 by telecom giant MTN. The total value of mobile money transactions in Ghana increased from 23.4 billion cedis recorded in March 2019 to 33.8 billion cedis in the same period in 2020, showing a more than 30% increase. Over the years, the forum looked at MTN mobile money, creating a cashless economy from your mobile phone. 5 years of MTN mobile money in Ghana, expanding cashless payments through mobile wallet transactions, mobile money driving financial inclusion in Ghana, among others. The panel for the 2020 forum were the Chief Executive of Jumia Ghana, Madame Diana Owusu-Chirako, Managing Director of GT Bank, Mr. Thomas Atta-John, Head of Fintech and Innovation, Bank of Ghana, Mr. Kwame Opon, and Chief Executive, Ghana Chamber of Technology, Mr. Deridine Datsi. They were unanimous in agreement that the fintech ecosystem needs support to develop solutions for financial inclusion in the drive towards a cash-light society.
I think the fintech need to go beyond latching on government support to give them business outlet and create things that can stand the test of time.
Financial inclusion is a very important thing to us as a country. Many of our fellow citizens do not have access to financial services, but inclusion goes beyond access. There's an element of having a variety of that access. So if I'm a farmer, for instance, it's not enough to have access to a bank account or have access to a mobile money wallet. I need access to insurance so that if my crop fails in one production cycle, there's something to fall back on.
The General Manager, MTN Mobile Money Limited, Mr. Elihini, urged all within the fintech industry to customers.
And on the business side, business operations have been greatly enhanced with technology, and that has helped us to solve the everyday problems of businesses to the extent that
MTN Ghana pledges to continue on its path of reliable and innovative services that provide value for subscribers in Ghana's telecommunications market. The 2020 forum had the theme, Boosting Growth of Fintech Ecosystem in a COVID-19 World.
The Ghana Tax Justice Coalition has launched a financial bleeding register to track financial malfeasance. in the country. The register is as a result of the high rate of state resources.
Domestic public resources are central to financing for development and essential for providing public goods and services. But in many parts of the world, particularly in Africa, public funds are often mismanaged and used for things other than their intended purpose. In Ghana, over the years, various national laws and policies have not stopped this problem, but some say the Beneficial Ownership BO Register and Right to Information RTI Act 2019, Act 989 may be the two pieces of promising instruments with the potential to bring about gains in the fight against illicit financial flows. As a step, the Tax Coalition Ghana is making the efforts to rekindle this fight by amplifying the use of the BO and RTI and keep records of such transactions in the country by way of seeking accountability. Policy analysts quest to fight illicit financial flows within the extractive sector can be fast-tracked with firm commitment from the media and competent authorities within the sector as government prepares to fully establish the Beneficial Ownership Register by September 2020.
This is not an event, it's a process. And it begins with the passage of a law, the development of regulations, the development of data capture templates, the collection of the data into a portal, and then creating accessibility for first everybody, and then for authorities such as the Financial Intelligence Unit, YOCO, and other investigative bodies, of course, including the CID, will have unfettered access to the engine.
Misgrading
will help us to track what is happening, and those issues that haven't been able to be dealt with, we can be able to follow up.
Official owners are their interests, nationality, residential and postal addresses, their dates of birth, and possibly contact numbers for the Registrar General's Department to track them if need be. This is a major step to enable the country meet its commitments to strategic measures towards complying with the 2016 Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative EITI Global Conference Resolution.
We bring the latest on how the local currency is performing on the interbank market.
Technology, an economist and deputy executive director at the Africa Center for Energy and Environmental Sustainability, Gideon, sufficient in energy to drive development. Energy security, he pointed out, is key in the next government, and it is important to do that so as to drive in countries the world over rely on huge energy supply to fuel everything from industry, agriculture, transportation, communication, security to health delivery systems. Energy security is the relationship between national security and the availability of natural resources to produce power for domestic and industrial consumption. Access to cheap and reliable energy is essential to the functioning of the economy. However, the uneven distribution of energy supplies exposed, energy experts are stressing the need for them to prove to Ghanaians their plans towards making the country self-sufficient in energy. Mr. Gideon Ofosu-Piasa is with the Africa Center for Energy and Environmental Sustainability.
Energy security is very, very important. You'd realize that every now and then there can be shocks. So, for instance, the current shock that the world is now enduring is with COVID-19. So, energy security is something that I think we need to look at. How do we ensure that our energy supplies are reliable when it comes to petroleum supply, when it comes to the supply of power? How do we ensure that it is reliable? How do we ensure that the energy forms that we consume are very affordable to drive foreign direct investment and then to make the lives of the people comfortable? How do we ensure that we are able to leverage the natural resources that we have, be it solar, wind, the energies you can get from the ocean, the energies that you can get from the earth, geothermal energy, and then all the other energy forms, including biomass? How are we going to leverage on this? How are we going to ensure that the energy sector is properly governed beyond what we see currently?
Renewable energy is increasingly gaining acceptance in the world. Interestingly, beer unsold during Australia's COVID-19 lockdown has been turned into renewable energy. When Australia locked down as part of the coronavirus preventive measures, bars and restaurants also shut down and beer consumption fell. Breweries were left with huge inventories of unsold stale beer, but rather than going to waste, some expired beers in the state of South Australia